Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the mythical land of Chark. We're after losing the barony of Walden, the forces of Timordia, under the command of the Baron of Sudbury, have decided to attack back into Walden and try to reclaim it. All right, in our last battle, we saw the forces from Weldrake invade Walden, kicking the Timordans out of that province. Now, as we pan to the left, we see the barony of Sudbury. They've mobilized their forces. They're going to cross over this river here and get back into Walbury, make an attack near the outpost at Rockridge. They want to kick the Eurylians out of there before they have a chance to start reprogramming the civilian populace. The forces of Timordia, under the command of the Baron of Sudbury, have decided to attack back into Walden and try to reclaim it. This will not be a Hail Caesar battle report, even though it all looks the same. I'm going to go back. I can't believe I haven't played it in over a year and a half, I think. A game of Oathmark. So if you never played this system before, I'll be rusty as well, but we will try to explain things slowly. And it's a pretty simple system. It's from Osprey. It's called Oathmark. I think Lost Realms or something like that. I can't remember. And it's a great system if you haven't tried it. Very rank and flank, 5 men in each going across the front, and then up to 20 people or soldiers or troops in a unit. You can't have solitary figures like we have the giants or monsters. So this system incorporates my desire to do fantasy stuff a lot more. It's designed for it compared to where I've been modifying Hail Caesar. But so you can have solitary guys, you can have and monsters and all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm trying to think of anything else I can do. It's pretty simple. So we'll get into it and we'll figure it out. And the only really rule that I'm bending is cavalry are supposed to be a maximum of 10 guys. Infantry is, of course, 20. But I am doing a little bit more in my cavalry units, which might bite me in the butt later, but we'll see. I just finished painting those cavalry, so I'm kind of excited to have them on the battlefield. I was short a couple units, so I did this mix of knights and other thing in there. Got a little built-up area here that's going to be reminiscent of, it's going to just be a little fort on the frontier that it'll be kind of a key feature to fight over, so that should be interesting. But mostly it's just to wipe each other off the battlefield. And I think that's it. So it's like over 5,000 points a side. And that's supposed to be, I think that's pretty massive for these games. I plan on making it much bigger. And I think that's it. We'll go over the terrain features, kind of go over some individual units, and we'll do that really quickly, and then hopefully get right into the game. So most of this week, we had a couple family things. We had a wedding this weekend. We had a funeral this weekend. It was a friend of my wife's, and then my nephew on my wife's side got married, so we went to that. So we've had a bunch of family, and it's been pretty awesome. But I still have been sneaking down, much to the chagrin of my wife, and painting Russians and Prussians. Most of these were from Mike D, his wonderful gift. Except I did buy these box of Perrys. The guys that are still on the sprues, Russian infantry. But the rest of these guys were kind of pre-assembled, but just primed. I'm not the best already assembled troop painter, but got that done. He had some officers there I kind of put together, make a brigade commander. These Prussians I'm starting to knock out. There's some skirmishers there, so. And then these are all new sprues from one of Mike's boxes of Perry Prussians. And there's the Perry Napoleonics Perry Napoleonic Russians back there. So yeah, those guys should be together and done this week, and then next weekend will be a phenomenal, massive game of General Day Armée 2. We've got some forest areas. We've got a road through the middle, some stone fences, lots of hills as usual. This is the Battle of Rockridge. So here's the ridge. That's kind of dominating the center, and both sides will be fighting their way on top of that and fighting down and just trying to dominate each other. Do have a river, but it's really might come into effect, might not. When these troops do cross rivers, you might have to take some liberties with their formations if they get stuck on there, just because everything's supposed to stay 5 wide, and with a 25 millimeter base, that's just not going to happen. So we'll just cosmetically make it look good. And I don't use moving stands, which is kind of a pain, but it's also kind of cool because I just don't like the way they look on terrain. A lot of times they'll get stuck on a hill and look like they're floating, and that's kind of silly for me. But I definitely think if you're using a moving tray, you're probably a smarter person than I am. And that is it. So we'll roll for initiative here when we get back. And this uses D10 sided dice, and I'll just I'm gonna walk through it out loud, so like everything I do, so not only you can learn, but I can also rehash in my mind, and then we'll just have a good time. And I do have all the expansions for this. There's 3 of them, I think. I plan on playing more games of this, and then I'll at some point I have to do a comparison on Hail Caesar, but I do like switching back and forth between rule sets, and I think these Hail Caesar and Oathmark will probably be the 2 I do for this time period or this setting that I created, because yeah, but we'll see. That's it. So hang on, here we go. Turn 1 coming your way. Oathmark is a different way to classify each unit. So you're getting like human warriors here. You'll get human spearmen. Most of these mercenary units, line breakers, orc line breakers too. There are coming out those new units from for Oathmark too, with the heavy orcs, which is going to be great. Those will be regular human infantry, and then there'll be heavy cavalry or cavalry. Pikemen will be considered human spear infantry, but then there, in one of the supplements, there is a formation for pikes, so they'll be using that. The crossbowmen aren't in Oathmark, so I've basically increased their fight by 1, or shoot by 1, and then decreased their range compared to the longbows. So just to make it a little bit of differentiation there. Line breakers, of course, for anybody with 2-handed weapons. Oh, I'm tripping over stuff. Sorry about that. And then you've got one thing I kind of don't think I did perfectly well that I might change next battle are the light infantry are usually classed as militia. So they are a lot of times are yeah, and I got them as human spear. But the vast majority of this stuff is all just human troops like they are. And yep, same units we used in Hail Caesar. And I will share the Google document with you. It'll be down below in the description. And I just kind of broke down both Baron's forces. There is a champion for both sides, and there is a human, I think, general for each side. And we'll try those rules as well. I will try the legendary champions at some point, but I want to get some really cool models to have some really nutso looking warriors, or they're going to be champions, and then we'll keep track of them to a little game within a game. Probably I'm going to reach out to my channel members to come up with names, and as they do well or get killed, if they get killed, we'll reach out again and get some new names on that. One of our channel members, Brixton, kind of threw that idea out there. I think it's awesome. So yeah, little way to get some skin in the game for those channel members. So, and I appreciate everything they do, so I definitely owe them something. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so once I get those guys, once I order them next week, we'll go from there. See what the 5 guys want to do with that. So all right, more to come. Let's do it. All right, Oathmark, Battles of the Lost Age. It's a alternate activation game using 10-sided dice, but the little twist is your opponent, or the opposite army, can activate your units by attacking them. So that kind of adds a little bit more thought into the whole mechanic. We start off, we'll roll initiative in turn one. We'll roll, each side will roll two 10-sided dice, and whichever side has the highest of the one of the two dice is going to be the victorious. There are some spins to this. If they roll this, you roll the same dice, it calls it what's it called? A random event. And if both sides roll the exact same dice, if I roll, on the red dice I roll 2 4s, and on the black dice I roll 2 4s, it causes a catastrophic event. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get to it. Alright, every time a unit activates, you mark it with I'm going to mark it with a red token to show that it already went, just to keep track of things, because when you have this many units on the field and you're playing solo, it's very easy to forget who's gone and who hasn't. So yeah, this unit of line breakers for the Aurelians that are in the outpost are going to just go on standby. I could have zoomed in more with the dice there, but the Aurelians won initiative with that 9. Was the highest die thrown. Alright, each unit has a stat line. So we have human soldiers. A is for activate, M is for move, F is for fight, S is for shoot, D is for defense, C, D is combat dice, H is health, number of points they cost, special abilities like shielding, and then their base size, which is 25 by 1 for most of these guys. Alright, activate. So everything is great. Everything's great the higher it is, except for activate. So you want a low activation because you have to roll over that to make them do anything. Move is how far they move, so in inches. Fight gets taken away from their defense dice in hand to hand, so the higher that is, the better. Shoot, if they can shoot, you want that higher. It'll get taken away from their defense dice in hand to hand. And then combat dice is how many they're going to throw, and their health is how many guys for each kill does it take off, or how much damage does it do. Alright, so the Time Wardens have light infantry down at their far end on let's just call it the south side of the battlefield. They're going to try to activate their light infantry. I won't go over this much detail every time I move somebody, otherwise it's going to be the longest battle report in the history of the mankind. And they're going to try to move forward. The unit of light infantry activates on a 6. The only thing you can do twice in one turn is move. So these Aurelian light infantry charge straight ahead. They have a move of 7, so they cover 14 inches. And that's it. So not so bad. We look down the Aurelian line from the south side of the battlefield. Or Time Wardens, sorry about that. So then we go back over to the Aurelians. They're going to counter their light infantry and try to activate their own. Move straight ahead to the base of the hill. Alright, I'm using my tripod. I was a bit manic during I think I was so excited to get into this game because I totally forgot I even had it and how awesome it is. And I've been rereading it over the last week or two. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I apologize for my moving all over the place. But yeah, so the Aurelians pass their activation. They move forward 14 inches. And they're at the base of the hill, of a Rockridge, excuse me. Time Wardens are going to counter that and try to move their line breakers forward down here on the south side, saving the cavalry for later on. Those line breakers activated on a 5, a little bit more motivated than the light infantry, and they move forward, but their moves are only 5, so they double move forward 10 inches. Aurelians are going to move forward their Osmanian nomads just to counter that. They're just the same as light infantry, so let's see if they can go. The Osmanian nomads stream forward 14 inches and take their position just to the left of their brother light infantry. Oh, nice looking battlefield. And it's going to look even better next weekend with 4,000 Napoleonic troops on it. Cannot wait. All right, here we go. Let's have a little bit of fun. Time Warden's going to try to activate their light cavalry. Light cavalry has a move of 10, so they stream forward 20 inches on top of the ridge. Be the first troops up there. They're officially invading their own old province of Walden, the forces of Sudbury. Rolians are going to try to activate their other unit of spear infantry, move them up behind the light infantry and the Osmanian nomads. So if you haven't noticed, just one of the two 10-sided dice you roll has to pass. Now there are later on in the game, there's options like command, and I think if you there's some things, I can't remember what they are, that will reduce that to like your officer gets killed. It'll reduce you just rolling one dice to try to activate, making it more difficult. So that's in the future. I also didn't mention there are spellcasters. They're individual models. So they're out here. All of them are level 3s. They all have the same spells, just to try to keep it less confusing for me. I'll go over that when it happens. And some of the spells are instant, like doing damage. Some of them, basically, you'll cast them on a unit and it'll last the entire game, unless the opponent has a dispel spell, and they could lay it on your guys and erase any kind of magical effect or enhancement that you put on the opposite team or your own team. Alright, so there also is, if you fail activation, it's not like Hail Caesar where you just kind of sit there and rot. You can basically just do a simple move. So if you have a move of 5, even if you fail, you can move forward 5 inches. Time Wardens are going to switch to the north side of the battlefield and start maneuvering their orcs towards, or at least try to, towards the keep, or rather just outpost. Orcs activate, move forward 10 inches. Usually hills are considered, I think, rough ground, and it would count like twice to move, but I don't want to slow down my getting to combat any more than it already is going to be at. And so the orcs move forward to the base of the hill. Aurelian's going to try to activate these human infantry, or human soldiers. Alright, I did a pivot, which is supposedly a quote-unquote free maneuver, which I'm not 100% sure what that means. Usually you can only do a maneuver and then one move action. So you can only do like 2 move actions if you go straight ahead, I believe. So please fix me if I'm wrong, I guess. Right now for this game I'm going to play it like that. And I don't think you can't maneuver into combat, but you can maneuver, then move, and then go into hand-to-hand combat. So yeah, so not quite 100% sure, but I'm going to go with this for the time being. I'm not sure what the quote-unquote free maneuver is. You could read it either way. They don't really give a good example of that in the book. With it being the free stuff, that's why I'm curious if I'm wrong. Like you could pivot and then move twice, or move and then pivot and then move again. But it doesn't say you can, so I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of err on the side of caution here. So those human soldiers move up the road. I'm going to keep the missile troops close behind them. They have a special rule called fire over. If they're behind 3 inches behind the unit, they can shoot over it unaffected by a unit. Otherwise, they can't fire over it or other pieces of terrain. The knights, for the Time Wardens, the foot knights at least, they're going to try to move forward 2 moves. Knights move forward along the inside of the wall. Crossing over a wall that's 1 inch tall, so it costs 2 inches to get over that. Aurelians are going to try to move these guys across the bridge. This is this hodgepodge unit of, but it's going to end up being a line breaker unit. Or will it? No, it'll be. Let's do warriors. I haven't marked it. I couldn't remember. This unit, I just ended up having a couple extra troops left over. I'm like, holy cow, I can make another unit. So both sides got another unit out of it for free. So this unit is in a legal formation, but it just cosmetically looks better crossing the bridge. They're in ranks of 3 right now, but it's okay. It's going to be all right. When they get across the bridge, they'll go back into ranks of 5s. On these Foot Knight units, the gentleman in the center for both forces is the champion, and there is a general is in command of the heavy knights. Yeah, these guys. So each side has one of them too. So he has a couple special moves that we'll talk about later on. Alright, if it doesn't state range on these guys, I believe they can go as far as they want. But this spellcaster is going to try to activate and cast Crushing Blow on those knights. So they'll get an extra fight for the entire game, basically. No, I apologize. We're going to be casting a spell called Blade Mastery, which is a casting 8. So they got to roll an 8, 9, or a 10. So he does not get the spell off. He sits there, he's activated, and they don't have any extra bonuses. Aurelian's going to try to pivot these line breakers and move them up next to the outpost. Oh, there they go. Up to support them. I'm going to make a big decision on the Berserkers. I think I'm going to go right up the keep next turn, or next move, and see if they can... I don't know what they'll do. We'll see what the Time Wardens do to counter it. Just go ahead, while it's fresh in the mind, these Time Warden line breakers on the far north side of the battlefield are just going to move out here for their inevitable confrontation with the Berserkers of Odenheim, which they'll probably get killed. Moving up on the side of the outpost here, on the north side of the battlefield. I'm going to go ahead to the other side and just go ahead and do the Berserkers right now while it's fresh in mind. Alright, the Berserkers of Odenheim trying to pass their order. Actually, they do pass an order, and they had started advancing up the ridge line, looking all threatening as possible. Following that, the spear infantry of the Time Wardens is going to try to advance and add to the left side to counter the Berserkers. Oh yes, they succeed. Now we've got the 2 Time Warden forces just to the left of the inn here. Hopefully they can hold off the Berserkers and their insanity. Aurelian, a sorcerer, Priest of Soul, is going to try to cast a Blade Mastery now. I definitely need to create some markers to show the different spells as I progress in this world of Oathmark. But he's successful in casting a spell. These guys' fight will go up by 1. And I'm using that silver token to go ahead and mark that. Great job, gentlemen. Woohoo! All right, let's see what we got next. You know them, you love them. The Immortals of Shubia, the only line breakers that also have shielding, just kind of make them a little bit more special than everybody else. They're going to try to charge up the hill and get ready to attack the walled inn and try to kick some butt like usual. The Immortals continue their victorious ways as they charge up the hill. Next turn, they'll be thrashing and chewing their ways through that stone wall, trying to get to those line breakers of the Aurelians. Yeah, they're really closing out a lot of forces. It's going to be an awesome attack here at this built-up area, whatever you want to call it. I love this view down the battlefield, looking towards the south. Next up, the Aurelians are going to try to move their crossbowmen. Try to keep pace with their soldiers and get that fire overrule going as best I can. Let's see what happens. Oh no, they fail miserably. Not a big deal, but that's a heck of a good view looking over the bridge. They were able to move up a simple move, which is a great part of this rule set. They're keeping pace with the soldiers in front of them, and they've got their Baron to their left. Next up, Priest of Soul for the Time Warden is going to try to cast Blade Mastery again on the Immortals of Shubia, making them even more a formidable foe. Yes. Success. All right, so their fight goes up by 1, so they'll be even more devastating when they reach those guys next turn. They'll be fighting them for having a good old time. Aurelian's going to try to move forward with their spear infantry. They're going to pivot and move towards there to counter that giant hole that the Time Warden Cavalry are trying to take advantage of. They successfully pivot, move forward 6 inches, plug in that gap over there. Yeah, that'll work for me. I'm not really 100% sure on tactics in this game. Moving up the center, the soldiers of Timordia will move up and try to occupy this whole center. It's starting to look really good up here as we get more and more forces getting towards this curve in the road. Got Timordan so far have got their soldiers with spear. They've got their knights. Aurelians are countering with soldiers and crossbowmen. And we've got knights going to be up the road, and pikemen and giants and everything else. Baron's going to try to move now and move to the left to get out of the way, let more infantry through into this gap to begin the fight even more. Yes, see if they can do it. They succeed. They go ahead and pivot. They're moving to the left, and we're going to use the command function here. The Baron he's a leader. He has a command of 1, so that means he can grant 3 dice when you try to activate to any unit within 6 inches of him. Also, if he passes his own order, he is able to pull like almost kind of a bolt action follow me. He's going to use that to activate his pikemen, and they can get 2 units to move at once, which will be very it's very interesting later on in the game. You can almost attack and then attack again. So that's kind of cool. So they succeed. They pivot. They go to the left. And now we're going to roll to see if the pikemen can move forward. And we'll get 3 dice to get a 6, I believe. That's correct. They'll go ahead and make that roll. And if they pass this, they will advance up the battlefield into the center next to the other. Those pikemen move forward. And there you go. We got a heck of a good center going on for the clogging up this road over here. Just try to slow down the Time Wardens punching through. The Time Warden Baron will do the same thing. He'll activate himself. I'll try to. And command Ulak to also move. Our first giant move for Oathmark. Alright, he succeeds. Now Ulak gets 3 dice to try to activate. Giants aren't easy to activate. They need a 7 to activate in this game. So both units activate. I think the easiest activation unit are elves. And then goblins, orcs, and giants and trolls and ogres are probably more and more difficult. Oh, it's going to get brutal at the intersection here. The intersection of death. Okay. Yeah, here they come. This should be a hell of a good fight. Can't wait. Time Warden's going to try to activate Grom. He doesn't have the commander there near him. So he needs a 7. Grom sees Ulak. He's pissed. He clears the other Time Warden infantry, moving 14 inches straight ahead. He's ready to beat some butt, running ahead of the everybody. He didn't need any help to activate. He was fired up. Time Warden's going to try to activate the Kaldani pikemen to move forward. Kaldani pikemen move up behind Ulak. Yes. Where's a Grom? I can't remember. You move up behind the giant. How about that? I'm getting confused now just thinking about I'm getting so excited about this hand-to-hand. It's about to be just a brutality. Alright, back over to the Time Wardens. Nope, Aurelians. Ah! They're going to move their knights, who are warriors on crack. They're going to move forward with their champion. This unit has the champion in it. This is going to be my last game, as like I mentioned earlier, with the with a champion in it that isn't a legendary hero. I'm going to get some cool miniatures after this and draw up some really brutal looking dudes that are going to be the champions that I'll keep track of as a component in the Oathbreakers supplement. I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier, where they can track them from battle to battle and they gain experience. They get more and more special abilities. There's even components in there that are dying and getting replaced. So that'll be kind of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. So channel members, we'll be getting to name those guys as they get replaced and for the initial one. So start thinking of cool names and it should be a blast. Time Wardens are going to move their crossbowmen up, keep pace behind the wall of pikes, and they could get their fire over on them. They're going to double move to get into range for next turn. These guys the missile troops can move once and shoot. They get a penalty of like -1 to that, but to their shoot value. But we're not quite in range yet. I think the only units that keep failing to move are the missile troops. So the crossbowmen fail. They get a simple move forward 6 inches, and trying to keep pace with the rest of the forces advance towards this curve of doom. Let's see if we can break the bad karma and move the Aurelian archers. Alright, they break the trend. So these guys, I gave my longbowmen a range of 25 inches, which is longer than they are in the real game. I gave my crossbowmen a range of 20, and if I want to get elven archers, they'll probably have a range of 30, because they're just a little bit better. That makes sense in my mind, so we'll go with that. They're almost getting into range here, so it's kind of cool. I don't know if you can fire over 2 units though, because they're not 3 inches behind it, so they can only fire over 1 unit. But that'll happen at some point here. I feel like we're getting too congested in here. I'm gonna take these line breakers, pivot them, and go that way and support the line breakers in front of them. Line breakers move forward to keep forward the gentleman and heading them going towards the northern ridge. Looking good. I think we still only have like maybe 3 units for each side to go. Does take a minute, but it's screaming along really. More of it. I think it'd be going even faster if I was, hadn't played in a year and a half, so or had played. This Aurelian spellcaster is going to try to put a blade mastery on the champion's unit. He gets the spell off. Nice. You can only do that once per unit. You can't keep stacking it, so their fight turns like into 50 or some silly stuff like that. So I might have to look into this spell for the next game just to have that extra little tactical thing. It'd be kind of cool. Time Warden's going to move these soldiers forward on the northern end of the battlefield to support the orcs. Alright, they stream up the ridge line. They're going to be attacking the outposts from every single direction at once. Not looking good for those guys. Aurelian's going to do a maximum move on their light infantry up the northern flank of the battlefield. Those guys fail and make a simple move. What's left for the Time Wardens? I think they've got archers back there or something. Those archers are going to try to move forward and keep pace with the attack on the outpost. It's more like a walled in than an outpost, to tell you the truth. But let's go with it. I need to get some fortifications. I got to get like a small keep and then a larger one. That'd be kind of fun. Archers are now in range of the walled keep or inn, whatever you want to call it. So they should be showering it down next turn before the assault begins. Aurelian's going to try to advance their other heavy cavalry unit down here on the north side. Heavy knights move up onto the ridge line. I love the view behind them. Just Time Wardens going across the entire battlefield for what is that, 14 feet? Time Wardens are going to counter, try to move their cavalry forward, their heavy cavalry. Successfully move up onto the ridge. You can see the entire valley from up here. I'm excited about that for my next game of Chain of Command. A Storm Tiger. I got that from Travis at Tabletop CP's buddy. I forget his name. But Panacea Prince on Etsy. I think I have an ISU 152 coming as well. But what a beast. I don't even think they even have stats for it in the game. I got to make something up. It's like a 352 millimeter rocket propelled mortar or some crap. It's insane. Aurelian spellcaster is going to try to do blade mastery again. This time on this is a different one, of course. This is the third one on these heavy knights. He succeeds, increasing their combat effectiveness. Tymorden Sorcerer or Priest of Soul, actually, over there by my tape measure. He's not taking that lion down. I'll do the same thing for the Tymorden Heavy Cavalry. Except he fails miserably. And that's it. Turn 1. Looking from north to south. Not moving, quite at Hail Caesar speeds, but not too bad. I really like the fact that I like the mechanism of the 2 dice at once, and then you can get punished later on down to 1, and heck, you can get bonused up to 3 if you with that command function. Even when you fail an order, you still get to move, so that's kind of nice a little bit. Just not as much as everybody else, and they're not insanely big moves. You don't like have they're not moving 36 inches, but I had some I think I had some 14-inch moves, so that's pretty good. There's the entire battlefield, and that's turn 1 in the books. No combat yet. Got some spell casting going on, getting everything else, but turn 2, we're definitely in the thick of it. At least gonna have we're gonna have some hand-to-hand. We're gonna have some missile shooting. We're gonna have these spellcasters also have the ability to cast fireball, so we'll see some of those hopefully too. And all right, turn 2 coming at you. All right, turn 2 initiative. Let's get crazy. Oh my gosh. This is where I'm going to make some tactical mistakes, as I am very rusty with this game, but plenty of opportunities, I'm assuming from now on, to wreak havoc. All right, here we go. Remember to print it off at work. Here's the 4-page quick reference sheet that's free on the Osprey Games website. So that's helpful. All right, baby. Let's do some initiative. Oh, thanks to the second dice being higher, the Aurelians take initiative. Now I think about it, Aurelians didn't really have much to do with the initiative. All right, they're gonna stall, and this unit right here is gonna try to activate and cross over that wall. They fail, but they make a simple move and get off the bridge, and they're on the road there. Tymorden's going to try to activate their archers and hammer away at the fortification before they go in with ground troops. Dude, I was rolling super hot before. Now, no moss. So, another failure. They can do a simple move, but not sure if they have room to make a simple move. Yeah, they just sit there and suck failure. That's it, baby. No shooting. These guys are like, yeah, we didn't think so. We don't know. Probably would have had no impact anyway. You never know, but who knows? All right, that's them. Aurelians are going to move the Berserkers of Odenheim, or at least try to. Turn 1, all I could do was activate, activate, activate. Now I'm simple move, simple move. So they basically fail, and that's a good view down there. And do a simple move up onto the ridge a bit more. Oh, it's time. Sending in the Immortals. They have charge 1, but it doesn't make sense in my mind to charge a wall. It's like charging into the side of a keep. You can't do it. But so that'll kind of get like a brace for that. And here we go. Alright, they activate like a boss. 2 full units, the Immortals of Shubi against a human linebreaker unit in a defensive position. These guys do have blade mastery for an extra to their fight. Okay, let's see how this goes. Give me a minute to figure out how to do this. Alright, they're both going to be rolling 5 dice because they've got 5 complete ranks. The Immortals will activate the human line breakers, so that's fun. The line breakers have a defense of 10. The Immortals only have a line of 8. With both sides having 4 full ranks, this is going to make it very easy to hit. The Immortals are going to need I think a 3 to hit the line breakers, and then the line breakers only need a 1 to hit the Immortals. The Immortals have wild charge. They can re-roll something, but that will also open up 1 for the line breakers. And yeah, they have shielding too, but oof. I think I'm going to use their shielding. So that takes away 1 dice each. So they'll both be rolling 4 dice. They're both going to lose 4 guys because they have a health of 1. The Immortals get shoved back an inch. I'm going to say the line breakers in the fortification, they can't get shoved back because they're basically defending a fortification. So that's it. That's our first combat. Very simple. I didn't do a good job of explaining it because that was a bit more of a complicated one. I apologize, but you basically take your fight number and then you subtract that into the defense number, and then your number of full ranks you have behind it, you take that out too. And in that fight, the fight number for the Immortals was increased by 1, but then they had to pay a 1-point penalty for attacking a fortification. Relearning are going to try to send in this unit of line breakers outside of the fortified inn to help reinforce these gentlemen. They pivoted and moved forward 6. Next up, Tymordan's going to send in another unit to attack the keep, try to wear these guys out. And they've already activated, so that's a bonus for, or penalty for the line breakers. All glory to the Orcs horde as they send them in. Orcs fail to activate, so they just kind of do a little pivoty wheel thing. They end up right there, trying to stay out of the way of the last soldiers over here. Relearning's going to try to move the the crossbowmen forward and see if they are in range of hitting the Orcs with crossbow bolts. They might not be in range. So they move up to the wall there. Their closest target is actually those knights who are in cover. So they're going to get a penalty for shooting in cover. They're going to get a penalty for shooting after moving. Let's see what we can end up with here. So normally they'd have 5 shots hitting on 6s with all the modifiers, but these guys have shielding, so it's going to be 4 dice hitting on 6s. We're able to kill 2 of them off, and I forgot to do my disorder checks on these guys. Well, I haven't even done that yet, but I did forget to do my disorder check on these gentlemen, both losing 4 guys each. Wow, both of these guys activate on a 5. They lost 4 guys each in that combat, so they need to basically roll a 9 or a 10 or become disordered. And they both hit a home run and both passed their disorder check. That's amazing. Great job, gents. Alright, let's switch over to the knights who's hit by the crossbows. They activate on a 5. They lost 2 guys, but they get a +1 because it's missile combat, so they need to roll a 6+. And they also avoid disorder. Strong work. Now, getting hit with missile weapons does not activate a unit, so just a hand-to-hand combat does. So they did not lose their move. I'm going to try to activate these soldiers to attack. Let's see if we can activate them. We'll figure out who we're going to attack, because they both already activated already. Oh, the Aurelians will be hitting on 4s. The Tymordan soldiers hitting on 5s as they charge in against them. All right, let's see what happens. Both will be rolling 5 dice. They're going for broke. All right, they both kill 3, so it's a draw. They both fall back 1 inch. Now they both take a morale check to see if they go disordered. What a mess. They're both looking for 8s to avoid going disordered. All the Tymordans keep it together. The Aurelians buckle, become disordered. That'll be a big penalty later on. Tymordans gonna try to activate their light cavalry and have them move forward. Aurelian light cavalry advancing on the Tymordan light infantry, kind of like, oh gosh, we need to get the heck out of here. That sorcerer is probably like, oh, we're in trouble. All right, get that taken care of. Tymordans are up. Screw it, gonna go in buck wild on the whole operation. Tymordan cavalry, light infantry, gonna try to charge these guys. That should be fun. Probably not a bad time to hit them when they're not charging, because they've charged 1. and they've already activated. So they go in and just go crazy and see if they can win. Kind of nuts having infantry charge cavalry, but let's see what happens. I originally thought this would be a stupid attack, but it's going to end up working out pretty good. The light cavalry are hitting on a 6 with 5 dice, and the light infantry are hitting on 5s with 5 dice. Light infantry win 2-1. Great job, gents. 2 break tests. See who can pass. Both sides looking for 7s. Sweet, they both pass. Really, cavalry, after the time Wardens attack them, are going to pivot, or going to try to pivot and charge into these guys. I don't think they're going to reach them, to tell you the truth. Maybe if they wheel. Maybe that'll work. Oh, they failed to activate. Just do a little wheel there. Get pointed the right direction for next time. Time Wardens are going to try to charge with these line breakers, see if they can reach the Berserkers of Odenheim. Oh, they charge in and they reach them. Alright, the rumble in the jungle. Well, rumble behind the... whatever, that's stupid. Okay, forget that whole thing. Here we go, baby. They're going to fight it out. They're both hitting on 4s. Yeah, that's it, baby. They're going for broke. Everyone's rolling 5 dice. Both sides lose 4 guys, and they both fall back 1 inch. Looking for 9s on these morale checks. Both units are disordered. Oh, but thankfully there's no one near to attack them. Alright, going on to the... oh yeah, it's Aurelian's turn now. Aurelian Spellcaster is going to try to cast Blade Mastery on the Berserkers. Oh, look at the face of failure. Get a new orb, my friend. You suck. Fails the spell casting. Time Warden Priest tries to cast Blade Mastery on these spearmen. He also fails big time. Oh well. Brilliant Spellcaster. Gonna try to do Blade Mastery on Big Daddy. On Grom. It's not the turn of the Spellcasters. He also fails. Time Wardens are going to try to pivot these guys and start moving them out to the flank around the Berserkers of Odenheim. They start moving out to go for the double team probably in a couple turns. Aurelian Spear Infantry advance towards the cavalry. Oof. They fail, move forward 6 inches with a simple move. Time Wardens are going to pivot these line breakers and try to move them up onto Rockridge. Oh, here we go. Got a little offensive going on. Looking sharp. Alright, ooh. I think the Aurelians, the Aurelians are going to start moving these guys. They're going to pivot those light infantry and try to come up and hug the side of those woods. They move up onto the ridge. The Osmani and Nomads will be following them in a second, and then also when it comes back to their turn again, so will these Spear Infantry. Time Wardens are going to advance these other line breakers, try to keep up with these gentlemen. They bone it hard, fail, so they just move forward 6 inches. Alright, Osmani and Nomads going to try to pivot and keep up with the light infantry ahead of them. Nice move. They advance towards the ridge line. Looking good. Alright, let's see what the Time Wardens got next. Alright, it's time to try to commit to the front here. Let's do this, baby. Spear Infantry going forward. They move forward and pivot, covering this little gap here that the Aurelians might exploit at some point, depending on the clash that happens up here on the ridge line. Alright. Plus these cavalry working their way around. Speaking of which, let's go on with those cavalry. Oh, they slide up next to those soldiers with spear there. Looking devastating. Alright. It's getting more and more nuts around here. All right, Tom Morton's going to counter with their pikemen and try to advance 2 moves. Get a nice wall of spears to the right and a wall of pikes to the left. Still room for Ulak to go charging through there. He can clear it. And they've also got their knights and more knights. Got to bring these crossbowmen up. They'll probably move up next. These guys failed their first activation. Aurelian's going to try to move their pikemen up to counter those pikes. Those pikemen move up and basically will block any kind of charge as they wedge their long, I was going to say spears, but I guess they're pikes. They occupy the road between the wall and the woods, so make it difficult to charge through there. That's not happening. Crossbowmen are going to try to double move and get into combat. Alright, they advance. They're in a good position after moving 14 inches forward. They should be able to shower everything with, I think they're within 3 inches of those pikemen. They'll be able to fire over the top of them. Just got to move these guys forward and the giant, and we're in business. I don't think this turn's going to be the turn of destiny, but I think next turn is. These soldiers are going to try to pivot and cross over the stone wall. Alright. More jockeying for positions here. I'm not sure what the heck the end game is. My tactics are probably horrible. Next up, these foot knights going to try to advance forward 2 moves. Oh, they charge in against those men-at-arms, those soldiers there. And I totally forgot this. If you get certain scores above what you need to hit, you do multiple hits, and I totally screwed that up in the beginning. So that's on me. We'll go from there, and I'm sure there was more casualties that should have been happening, and I blew that one. There's a champion die involved in this one, and that kind of triggered the memory because the champion does like double damage a lot of times. So, and there's that table for multiple damage. You get 5 greater, you get 2 hits. If you get 10 greater, you get 3 hits. So, human soldiers will be hitting on 5 compared to the the soldiers will be hitting on 5s compared to the knights hitting on 2s, which is unfortunate. So they're going to immediately use their shielding to reduce it down to 4 dice each, but the champion dice will be in there. All right, that was a savage hand-to-hand. Even with the rolling the 2 10s for the Aurelians, they ended up doing double hits. So they do kill 5 knights. The knights attack back and kill 6 of the Aurelians. So this is going to be some really, really impossible morale checks. The Timorians need a 10. Aurelians are going to need 11, which is difficult to roll those 11s on 10-sided dice. There is a mechanism for rolling greater than 10. You have to roll a 10 and then follow that up with an 8+, I believe. Timorians are going to win that hand-to-hand. They're both going to be disordered, and they're going to push the Aurelians back 6 inches. They're driven back. This is an opportunity for Grom to pivot and charge these knights. Oh, but he chokes. Doesn't reach him. Gets over to the wall barely. That's a sad day. All right. Ulak going to take an attempt to charge his buddy. If he can get a double charge, he can get it. Oh, he reaches him. We got some giant on giant hand-to-hand. This is going to be insane. Even though these guys are units of 1, they both roll 5 dice. And one of the dice is always the champion dice. So let's see what they need to hit to punish each other. All right, Grom is going to be... It's going to be tough. He's going to be hitting on 8s, I think. Sorry, I looked over to see what they're doing. Ulak for the Timorians will be hitting on 6s. All right, it's a draw. They both do 4 points of damage to each other. They both fall back an inch. The activation for these guys is a 7. So with 4 damage, they're going to need 11s. Plus, they are horrific, so that would be +1, but they also have courage, so that'll cut it back down. They both need 7s to not become disordered. They need 11s to pass that, I think, right? Because they have 4 damage. Does that make sense? They didn't. Yeah. So they both can be disordered because they didn't get 11s. They got 8s. All right, that's crazy. Sorry about the math issues there. I think I got 7 stuck in my head. So these guys are going to try to move forward just to occupy that zone there. Or they move up and occupy that space behind the giant. It's getting kind of insane in this area. Looking good though. Over to the Timorans. Their knights are going to try to pivot and move up onto this elevated ridge. They're up on the ridge line. All right. Timordans are going to, Aurelians are going to try to move forward their archers to get them in range to start firing next turn. All right, they move up to there. They're ready to get a couple guys out of the way and start shooting. This Timordan spellcaster is going to try to move forward so he can start casting fireballs at people. He succeeds. These gentlemen over here for the Aurelians are going to move forward, try to do a double move. He moves up, joining those gentlemen, be able to pivot probably and move up on the ridge line after them next turn. Yeah, it's getting, even if it's taking a second to get into the game, to get into combat hand to hand, I'm getting good practice. I'm catching some mistakes. It's okay, but it's just great playing miniature wargaming, so I'm stoked. Okay, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Coming back to the left very slowly so you don't throw up. Timordan cavalry. All right, we got to do something cool here. Try to advance and pivot and charge these gentlemen here. These heavy cavalry slam into these light infantry, which are classed as militia in this game, so that's going to be awesome. Yeah, let's add up some stuff here. Light infantry are going to use their shielding to reduce the amount of damage they're going to take. They're going to need 11s to hit the heavy knights. Heavy knights are going to need 2s to hit them, so if it's going to be 4 dice, this is going to be brutal. Light infantry don't do any damage to the heavy knights. They lose 4 guys. They get blasted back 6 inches. They're going to take a morale check. Oh, I don't even know. It's going to be something huge. I think they activate on a 5, so it's going to be a 9. They're going to be disordered after that shellacking they took. Oh, brutal. This sorcerer is gonna, or priest of soul, is gonna try to cast a fireball on those heavy knights. Usually for fire over, you have to be within 3 inches, but these guys are sitting up there elevated, so it's a straight shot. Needed an 8 to cast that. Rolled a 9 and a 10. Nails them with a fireball. I think it's gonna be, I can't remember the stats. I think it's like 4 hits on some kind of firepower. Let me look at it really quick. Shoot 4, combat dice 3. Alright, cool. Those knights have an armor of 13, so they need 9s with these 3 dice to even hit them. That's brutal. Gets the fireball off, but it misses, shoots across the battlefield. Timordan's going to try to activate their light cavalry. They fail doing a simple move and just advance 12 inches. A light cavalry can move. Heavy cavalry's 10 inches. And the Aurelians are done, so the last thing is that spellcaster for the Timordans. He's going to try to move forward the double move. Succeeds, move forward 16 inches. Alright, so starting on the south side, light infantry up against cavalry units. Yeah, turn 3 is going to be turn 2 is pretty good, but I think from here on out it's going to be just move and counter move as these guys slam into each other. They're all in range of charging now. Yeah. Woo! Still a little bit of a couple guys that won't be in the fight this next turn. but the center is going to be brutal. These disorder checks is going to make it harder to move, and if you get another disorder, basically you break from the battlefield, and that can trigger cascading panic, so you can lose a lot of guys here really quick. All right, it's going well. It's mostly been maneuvering and a little bit of sporadic fighting, but now we should be into the ultimate melee now. Awesome. All right, we'll see you in turn 3. All right, time for turn 3, morale. Not morale, initiative. This one's gonna be clutch. Let's see what happens. The Aurelians won't be denied. All right, let's see what, I gotta think about this bad boy. All right, the Berserkers of Odenheim are gonna try to pass a activation test. See if they become undisordered. They can make a simple move, but those guys will be in range for the hand-to-hand. All right, so they have to beat their activation. They get a -1 penalty for being disordered, but they get a -1 for each row of full troops. So they're at 5. They go up to 6 because they're disordered, and they've got 2 rows of dudes, so go down to 4. That's what they roll that. Go backwards this time. Everybody's got a marker on them. I'll take markers off to show people have moved instead, so that way feels like it'll be more efficient. All right, so they become undisordered. If you pass or don't pass that, you could only make a simple move, even if you remain disordered. All right, so they lose their disordered. They can move forward 6 inches, which attacks these gentlemen, and we'll do a hand-to-hand. So the clutch thing about this for the Aurelians is, 1, they get rid of their disordered. 2, the Time Wardens won't have a chance to clear their disordered because they're going to get activated here. So they're going to fight this hand-to-hand disordered. And also, the Berserkers of Odenheim for the Aurelians are going to get the benefit of their charge ability, so they'll get the extra +1 to their fight. So that shows you the advantage of winning the initiative and driving into an enemy that's you can catch on the back foot. So there's my big. I don't have a lot of tactical advice for Oathmark, but that could be 101. So as that pays off, these guys basically have very similar stats, except for the charge 1 that the Berserkers of Odenheim, and they have wild charge too. They can re-roll a die. But the Berserkers will be hitting on 3s with 5 dice, and the line breakers for the Time Wardens will be hitting on 5s. The Berserkers are going to use their wild charge ability. So far, the Time Wardens have lost 6. The Berserkers have lost 3. Once they use their wild charge ability, both sides will re-roll 1 dice. Just mathematically, since the Berserkers have a better chance to hit. Seems like a smart idea. As it pays off barely, they kill us. They don't lose anybody, and they shave off another guy, cutting them down to just 1 full row. That's going to make this break test or morale check very difficult, as they lose 7 guys. With an activation of 5, they're going to need a 12. Yeah, no minuses because they don't have a full row. So they're going to have to roll a 10 followed by an 8 not to break. This unit was within 8 inches of them, so when it started, so they're going to be possible victim of cascading panic. Check that. They only have 1 additional full row of men, because that back row's only got 3 guys in it, so they don't get a bonus for that. So 5 plus 3 goes to 8, minus 1, they need a 7. These soldiers back here have to take a unmodified. This is gonna be pretty simple for them because they've got a full complement. So they activate on a 5. They have 3 full rows. So they just need to roll a 2 or greater on 2 dice to not become disordered. They pass that. These guys get blown off the battlefield as they were already disordered, and they failed their second morale check, so they are gone. And that shows you basically how a unit gets decimated. I need to look. There's victory in the rules of basically how you win, besides just like completely killing everybody. I'll check. We're nowhere near that, but it's probably a good time for me to peek and look at those rules real quick. It's like I'm not really playing with a scenario, so I'm gonna go with my normal. You kind of know when it's over, so that's fine by me. That's fine. So, but there's the way it is written in the Oathmark rulebook. Tymorden Heavy Cavalry is going to try to activate and destroy this disordered light infantry militia. Alright, the militia does have shielding 1, so they're going to definitely use that. The cavalry's got charge 2, and then the light infantry is disordered, so definitely shielding will reduce it to 4 dice. So if I didn't explain the shielding rule before, units that have it can choose to use that to reduce the number of dice that they roll and the number of dice that the enemy rolls. So instead of rolling 5 dice, it knocks everybody down to 4. With these heavy cavalry going to be killing on 2s, and the light infantry are going to be hitting on 9s. I've never known a better opportunity or a better time to use shielding to try to mitigate the damage. So there's going to be a lot of double damage on this bad boy. Light infantry get pounded for 6 casualties. Oh, they're down to 1 full. Yeah, they got 1 full row. They lost a back row and another row. They're going to and they have a disordered marker on them, so that's going to be a fun break check. But they were able to kill 1 of the heavy cavalry, so that's something. They'll take a disordered check too. All right, for the break test, Tymordens are going to need a 6. Aurelians are going to need to pull an 11 out of their bums, so that's going to be a 10 followed by an 8. The light infantry break. There are 4 Aurelian units in range of that break, so yay. Every one of them is going to have to take a check. A lot of these are going to be pretty simple, but we'll go ahead and knock them out. To start off with them, go to them, go to them, and go to them. The cavalry both pass on to the infantry. Alright, they all pass. Alright, first up for the Aurelians, they're going to try to pivot with these guys and charge into the flank of the cavalry that have activated. Here comes that cascade of assaults now. Okay, attacking in the flank an already activated unit. Oh yeah, but with militia. Oh, it's close. The light infantry are going to need a 6 to hit. The cavalry are going to need 5s. So it's probably as good as it's going to get for these gentlemen. And yeah, everybody's rolling 5 dice. The Osmanians lose 4 guys to they kill off 3 mounted knights though. The knights push the Osmanians back 6 inches. Let's do their morale checks for both of these guys. Oh, they both hit home runs and roll 10, so no disordered units there. Alright, the light cavalry of the Tymordens is going to launch arrows at the Osmanians and try to just keep nickel and diming them, trying to finish them off. They fail to activate and just do a simple move and do a wheel. These soldiers with spearmen are going to activate and try to attack the flank of the heavy knights again. Determining what arc you're attacking from is you kind of see if your officer is in the front quarter or the side quarter of the other officer's quarter. Going at 45-degree angles from the unit. Just breaking out the laser pointer, which I don't have on me. Using some Kentucky windage. These guys were in the front quarter, so they're going to hit the cavalry head on. Oh, the knights kind of choked. They must be fatigued or their horses are blown or something. They only kill 1 of the spearmen. Spearmen kill 3 of the knights off. They push them back an inch, and now we'll do some morale checks. And the The horses actually, the cavalry needed 6s on that combat, and the spearmen needed a 7. So just some bad rolling on my part. Sorry about that, gents. For morale checks, it looks like the knights are going to need 8s, and the cavalry is going to, sorry, the infantry is going to need 5, 6, 7s. Check that, 4s. Alright, everybody passes their morale check there. Light infantry, they're going to take it, they're going to, no, I don't know what they're going to do. No, they're going to hold. I got to figure out what the Timordans are going to do. All these Timordan knights are going to try to attack the flank of the pikemen, because they actually have a -1 fight to the flank. So they successfully get rid of their disorder, and they attack into the flank of the pikemen, which could be awesome. These guys have charge 1, and they have the champion is with them. Determine the fight for the a unit attacked in the flank. You take the number of combat dice for 1 unit, which is 1. And they have 4 full ranks, so they get a 4 subtracted in the armor of 10. So these guys have to hit on a 6. And then the knights are just the same old way. They're going to be hitting on 3s because they're charging, and they're just awesome. All these guys have a -1 too, because they're hitting the for the pikemen. So they're actually going to go up to a 7. The knights kill 4 pikemen while losing 2 of their own number, winning the battle. The pikemen get shoved back through the woods. Just kind of, instead of putting them in there, they go back that far, a little bit farther than 6, just to make it less complicated for me. And now we've got morale checks. Everybody passes their morale check, which is always a great thing. Grom is going to try to pass his his morale check, shake his disorder, and then crush the knights from the side. Oh no, Grom's going to need a 2, while the knights are going to need 11s because they've hit in the flank. Grom kills 7 of the knights. The knights have 1 possible of doing a wound on him. They're going to roll an 8 on this follow-up dice. What's left of those knights is going to need to roll a 12 not to become disordered. Epic fail as they become disordered. These pikes are going to try to rush forward and attack Grom and put a hurting on him. The Kaldani pikemen rush forward and try to stab the giant in the head with all their spears. Yeah, baby, let's get it. Pikemen are driven back, losing 5 of their number, but they put 3 wounds on to Grom. He's getting kind of beat up now. Whew. Alright, break tests are going to be rough for both these guys. He's going to need an 8 for Grom and a 7 for the pikemen. Grom has 5 health left. He's now disordered in the middle of the battlefield. So the Aurelians are going to try to activate their longbowmen, fire over, and drill the pikemen. Looking for 5s to do casualties. Those archers went to sniper school. 6 kills on the pikemen. Oh, wow. They're going to need a 9 not to go disordered. Well, they buckle under that savagery of the archery there, and they become disordered now in the middle of the battlefield. The Immortals are going to try to attack the fortified inn. Line breakers are going to need 3s in their defenses against the 5s needed by the Immortals. The line breakers of Aurelia, choke and are driven out of the fortified inn as the Immortals jump in there and start freaking ransacking the place. They're drinking all the booze. They're going crazy. Alright, so they've actually taken the ground. That's awesome. And now I guess do a morale checks for both. 1 casualty for the Immortals and 3 for the Line Breakers. Oh, they both passed with flying colors. That's fantastic. Berserker's already gone. Woo! Alright, these guys are going to try to lose their Disordered and attack those those soldiers they lost to, I think, last fight. The Aurelians with their Blade Mastery spell cast on them are going to need 3s to hit. Tymorans need 6s. They're going to immediately use their shielding ability and cut it down to 4 dice. Tymordan soldiers lose 4 men. The Aurelians lose 2 in that hand-to-hand. Tymordans will lose. We'll get pushed back. I'll think about that one. I might push them back a ways, or just 1 inch. It's 1 inch or 6 inches. You get the dealer's choice. We'll do break checks real quick. Tymordans become disordered, get pushed back an inch. They're right there. The Orc infantry is going to make a crazy charge against the Aurelian Line Breakers. Oh yeah, here come the Orcs against the Aurelians that have already activated. Extremely bloody combat as 8 of the Aurelian Line Breakers are killed. 4 of the Orcs are slain. Break tests are going to be in the nigh impossible region, especially for these guys. The Orcs become disordered. The Aurelians have 2 chances to not become disordered after rolling double 10s. And a testament to bad assetry. Oh my gosh, they hold out. That's some moral fortitude right there. They had their oatmeal this morning or something. These guys, having gastrointestinal trouble, might have pooped themselves a little bit. They win the combat, but I think they just got too freaked out by so much blood. They might have slipped on blood or something, or entrails or something. They're done. Disordered. These Line Breakers are going to try to pivot, cross the wall, and start heading up here to reinforce this horrific combat at the top of the ridge. They cross over the wall and get to the bottom of the hill, looking to do some damage next turn probably. These knights are going to try to pivot and with their command ability charge forward and attack these guys in the flank. Knights are looking for 3s to hit. These guys, the Line Breakers, getting hit in the flank will need 11s. Line Breakers take 6 casualties. They'll be down to 1 guy at the end of this. They have 2 possibilities of doing casualties on the Knights. Oh, 1 man stands alone against the hordes of Tymordia. He's going to need a 10 not to become disordered. Oh, he's able to not pass this time. Sorry about that. The Aurelians are going to fire their crossbows from these gentlemen into the Knights, trying to kill a couple of them off. Looking for 6s to cause casualties. Kill 2 of them off. They'll need a 5 not to become disordered. Even with the extra dice from the being a command, they fail that and become disordered. Tymordans are going to try to advance these Line Breakers forward in the rear on the south side of the battlefield. They successfully advance up onto the ridge line. Let's see what the Aurelians are going to counter that. I think they're going to move their heavy in. No. Might as well get this over with. They're going to try their cavalry to pivot and charge these spearmen. Alright, these soldiers are going to use their shielding ability and their brace ability to cancel out one of their charging bonuses. Should be a good fight. In that David versus Goliath like struggle, the the spearmen, excuse me, from Timordia hold out against that heavy cavalry charge, killing 4 knights and only losing 1 of their own. Oh, wow. Time for some break tests. Aurelian heavy cavalry with their general, become disordered. No bueno. Knights love it. Timordan crossmen are trying to move up 1 simple move, get behind, or probably wheel. Get within 3 inches of these guys, do fire over on the knights. Alright, with the -1 for moving, they'll need 7s to put some wounds on these knights. They kill 2 more of them, forcing another break test. Looking for 6s on 3 dice not to rout with the command. The extra dice from having the Baron there pays off as they barely pass that. Aurelian heavy cavalry charging the light infantry. Light infantry are going to use their shielding to try to survive this nightmare. 1s versus 8s. Going to be brutal. Only 4 dice though. 1 knight is killed. 5 of the light infantry are killed. Time for break tests as they push the cavalry, push them back 1 inch. Too much emotional damage for the light infantry as they become disordered from that shock attack. Timordan sorcerer is going to try to move forward this direction and fire a fireball at these cavalry. Guess they can move and shoot? I don't know. Maybe spellcasting takes more than that. Let's not do that. Changing plans. These Timordan archers are going to try to advance 1 move and fire at this last remaining gentleman. Looking for 1-4 to kill off that last guy. Smoke him if you got him. They turn that dude into a porcupine. He's toast. Aurelian light cavalry. They're going to scooch forward 1 move to get within 3 inches to do fire over and launch arrows at light infantry. Oh, they fail and just do a simple move and move up right behind those heavy knights. On the north side here, this Timordan sorcerer getting a little bit nervous about the cavalry coming around the corner. He's just going to try to double move up into with the rest of his boys for safety. We're going to do a command over here. He's going to try to activate himself. If he's this... that's the champion. Sorry, I messed up. We're just going to go with the Aurelian archers and fire over the top at these pikemen, what's left of them. Looking for 4s to put some hurting on these guys. Kill 3 pikemen, forcing another break test. These guys activate on a 5. They took 3 casualties, going up to 8, but it's a missile attack coming down to 7, and that's all they get. And check that, it goes back up to an 8 because they're disordered. So they passed that. Outstanding. Timordan sorcerers going to try to pass Blade Mastery on Ulak, which he fails. Aurelian Knights going to try to charge what's left of these pikemen. Well, they rush in against the pikemen who are disordered. These knights have Blade Mastery and Charge 1, so this should be savage. 8s versus 2s in here, and the champion dice is going to be thrown. It's going to be brutal. The Aurelians wipe out the Kaldani pikemen. They're killed to a man. Do a little weak-ass break test on these guys with 1 casualty. They were looking for a 3 there, so they passed that without any issue. Alright, see what the Timordans are going to do. Move these soldiers forward. Just make sure that the Berserkers of Odenheim are in their front quarter. Alright, they get to there without any issues. See what the Timordans are up to. Sorry, the Aurelians. This spellcaster here on the north side is going to try to cast Blade Mastery, needing an 8 on these gentlemen. Oh, Crack-a-Lackin' success gets the spell off. Those guys get a +1 to their fight. Tymordan Spellcaster do the same thing on those spear infantry out to the left flank there. They also succeed as they'll have a fight of +1 throughout the rest of the battle. Oh, he's going to try it on Grom. Oh, this is the turn of sorcery. Everything's going well here. His magic is flowing. These Tymordan Linebreakers going to try to move forward off the onto the center of the ridge. Tymordans are making good pushes on the flanks if you don't look out to the cavalry shove going out there to the side. Maybe they're stalling with that light infantry. They're also dominating around the fortified inn right now. These Aurelians are going to try to clear their disorder, just move up and defend the wall to get a bonus. Ulak's going to try to clear his disorder and reach these Aurelian soldiers on the wall. Oh, he reaches them. Those guys will get some kind of protection. Plus they're going to use their shielding too for the wall. Ulak's going to have the champion dice. He's going to need 6s to hit these guys. 4 dice. The Aurelian infantry are going to need 10s. Aurelians lose 2 guys. They do no damage to Ulak. They fall back 6 inches, and now we'll do a break test for them. Alright, they pass, which is great. So Aurelian Sorcerer is going to try to move forward. Actually, no, he's going to try to cast Blade Mastery on those gentlemen there. Can't keep the hot hand going. I think that's it for the Tymordans. They're done. The last Aurelian unit, they're not going to charge up the hill, so they're just going to pass. And that'll end turn 3 as we have Aurelian cavalry pushing on the left. We're getting a good little push through by the Tymordans right above this on this ridge line here. We'll see what happens here. The center is definitely going the I mean, it's brutal, but it is definitely going the Aurelian way, as the Tymordans are down to a very beat up unit of knights. Ulak stands alone. There was a great stand by the Tymordan spearmen over here. They did a great job holding off against a cavalry charge. Aurelian pikes got pushed back, but they've got some numbers here. And then up here, it's all Tymordia as they've taken the inn. They've crushed out, they've pushed back these line breakers. They've killed another unit of line breakers. But on the flanks, it's going to be different. But we'll see what happens. The Berserkers of Odenheim are wounded. That's infantry of Spear down there are at full strength, plus they have Blade Mastery now. So, yeah, a lot could happen. Okay, we'll see you in turn 4, I think, right? Alright, time for some turn 4 initiative. Let's see if the Tymordans can finally win one. Alright, the Aurelians rolled double 7s, which causes a strange event. So we'll roll on this table and see if it's, I guess, applicable. Alright, they had a spy get in there and poison the one of the enemy units' food. So they got a +2 activation the rest of the game. Sorry about that, buddy. Oh, it's Ulak. They go ahead and decide to poison him. He's got some serious diarrhea. That's a 50-pound diarrhea coming at you. That's not good. He's not feeling well. Tymordan's going to try to activate this group of line breaker men-at-arms, run down the hill, and try to smash these knights with the general there, or the baron, excuse me, who is disordered this time. So it'll be a flank attack into a disordered unit coming downhill. Holy cow, this is not going to be good. the Aurelian Knights need a 10 because they're fighting disordered downhill and to their flanks against these line breakers running down the hill. Those Timordans are going to need a 5 to hit their enemy. Well, that could have gone a lot worse for the Knights. They only lose 1 Knight. The line breakers don't lose anybody. The Knights are shoved back 6 inches, and now they've got to do a break check, and they are disordered already. But they get to roll 3 dice because of their command. They passed. That was a big one because that was the Baron, which could have caused a catastrophic issue. So that's it for them. Both units are activated. Gonna activate these crossbow. I guess we'll do a free pivot and fire at Ulak. No, that's kind of boring. Gonna try to charge these knights and hit the side of the crossbowmen. Oh, devastating. There's gonna be some horrible math with these guys getting hit in the flank. With their blade mastery, their charge 1 and attacking in the flanks, and just all around badassery. The foot knights are gonna need 1s to hit. Oh, with the champion dice against the crossbowmen getting hit in the flank, needing 7s. The crossbowmen were able to kill 3 of the foot knights, which is pretty awesome. They lose 7 of their own in that clash. Morale tests are going to be just a thrill. Crossbowmen are shoved back 6 inches. They are disordered and they've activated. Alright, Team Timordia turn. Timordan Baron gonna try to pivot, charge down the hill, and hit those line breakers. He will be in the front arc though. Downhill charge by heavy knights into the line breakers. Pretty sure, I know the men at arms are going to need 10s to hit because of the knights' armor's phenomenal, and the knights are going to need 3s. Not too bad though. Only 3 of those men at arms were killed. None of the knights. The men at arms will have to take a break test, needing a 7. Unfortunately, they choke on that and become disordered. Ah, too bad. Berserkers of Odenheim gonna want to go like a boss, charge downhill into these spearmen. Come tearing down the hill, screaming like crazy people with axes, hitting these guys. Debating about doing shielding, but these guys, we'll see what the numbers look like. These guys are going for maximum slaughter. Berserkers are hitting with 2s, and the spearmen are going to be hitting with 4s. So, the odds are, we could see the way I've been rolling. And that was everything I wanted it to be. Both sides lose 7 guys. Oh, they're going to need 11s to not become disordered. Both of them. Oh, no, they won't. No, the Berserkers need 11s, and the Timordan Spearmen will need 10s. Savagery. Both of them are psychologically scarred for eons. They're both disordered after that. Wow, great fight. Ulak, with his dysentery, gonna try to activate as he's pooping in his diaper. Needs a +2 on top of it. I think he needs like a 9, right? He goes in to try to smash the crossbowman. Actually, he'll step over the wall. He started in their flank, so this should be horrific. Oh man, these guys are about to I don't know. Call the funeral home. Here we go, baby. Opposite ends of the spectrum here. Crossbowman hitting on 10s. Ulak with his giant Louisville Slugger hitting on 1s with the champion die. Crossbowmen aren't able to put any holes in Ulak's diaper, but they lose 8 men. They're going to need a 12 on 10 dice. Good luck. They do have a chance to pass this disordered if they can roll an 8 here. Oh, they almost keep it together, but they come disordered. Too bad. All right. Alright, the Timordan archers are going to hammer Ulak with a bunch of arrows. Ordens, I apologize. Those guys are Aurelian archers. I kind of looked at the map there. No way, they need 10s. They do have a shot. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and make it a good shot. We're going to try to activate Grom. He is disordered. He's going to attack Ulak from behind. Alright, Grom is going to need 5, Ulak's going to need 8s as they just try to wear each other out. That was insane. They both got exactly what they needed to kill each other. So both giants end up collapsing in a pile of poop in the middle of the road here. What a nightmare, right by Rockridge. Well, it's going to be a big hole to dig. It's going to be some stinkiness for a while. This could be an ecological disaster. These foot knights are going to try to go out on their own terms. They're going to try to activate, they're disordered, and then charge into the rear of their colleagues. 5 versus 8s as these guys crash into each other. Let's see what happens here. With champion dice flowing. I forgot, the Timordans are down to 4 guys, so they're only going to get 4 dice. 2 Timordan knights are slain. 3 of the Aurelians, as the Timordans are victorious but have 2 guys left. Break tests. Let's see what happens. Both units will need break tests of over 6 to avoid becoming shaken. Both units poop the bed and become disordered. Aurelian archers are going to blast away on the what's left of the 2 Timordans, one of which is a champion. Looking for 5s to kill people. Oh, the champion is slain. Both of those gentlemen go down in a heap with arrows sticking out of them. Timordan light cavalry are going to try to break over the ridge and charge the Osmanian nomads, who are definitely investing in shielding right away. Sometimes hanging out at the bottom of a hill is not the smartest idea, Steve. Good job, buddy. Another tactical screw-up. So we'll get a charge downhill and a charge +1. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm actually going to get rid of the shielding. The light infantry is hitting on 5, while the light cavalry is hitting on... Or, sorry, other way around. The light cavalry is hitting on 5, and these guys are hitting on 6s. So we're going to go with 5 dice for both. The Osmanians nomads lose 4 guys. The light cavalry loses 2, so we'll do some break tests. The Osmanians become disordered. Ah, fail. Aurelian heavy cavalry slams into the light infantry, excuse me. The light infantry are disordered, and the heavy cavalry have a +2 charge, and they have that bonus to an extra fight too from that spell enhancement. Light infantry is going to need a 10. Heavy cav is going to need a 2. Their light infantry is going to use their shielding like a boss, and wishing they had more shielding. Heavy cavalry loses 1 knight. The light infantry lose 5 guys. They're already disordered, so the light infantry's break test. Ooh, they don't know 4 plus. They got. Oh gosh, hang on. They're gonna need a 10 to not run from the battlefield. Heavy cavalry grind them into the ground, destroying that unit. They're activated. Light infantry flee with, who didn't get killed. All right, on to Team Timordia. These heavy cav of the Timords are going to try to activate, pivot, charge down the hill, and try to finish off the Osmanians. At least the nomads are far enough down away from the hill, they won't get the hill bonus at least. But these guys do have charge 2, and the nomads have already activated this turn. The Osmanians are going to need a 9. The heavy knights need a 5. The Osmanians are throwing up their shields. They're using them, cutting it down to 4 dice for both sides. The nomads lose 3 guys. They lost their second row, which will hurt their break test roll they have to take here in a minute. Because they are disordered, pending a rout. Also, the knights are cut down to 4 guys, so they no longer get a full 5 dice to attack with. Nomads will be looking for an 8, and the mounted knights will be looking for a 5. Alright, the Eurilians are going to activate this unit of spearmen, run down the hill, and slam into the flank of these knights. Oh, here they come, baby. Let me do some quick math. Give me a second. Ooh, it's pretty close. I think it's... Oh, hang on, let me do the math again. I think I forgot what I got for the... Because they're getting attacked in the flank, and you just multiply by your rows by the count of units. They have a 1 versus their defense of 9. So the cavalry's hitting on 8. But they've already activated, so that's a 9. And the spearmen are hitting on 7s. They kill 2 of them off. They push them out into the middle of nowhere, heading right towards towards the sorcerer. They got to do a morale check. They just need to roll over a 6 to pass the break test. No worries, those knights love it. I'm looking for a good attack for the Time Mordens, and I can't see one. These line breakers are going to try to move forward 2 moves just to be ready for next turn. These line breakers are going to try to activate and pivot and attack. Let me see if they can reach. Hang on. Yes, they would be in range within a quarter of an inch. Nice. They're going to try to attack the knights. 5 versus 8 for the Time Warden line breakers attacking into the flank of this heavy cavalry who've already activated. For morale checks, the knights are going to need an 8. Because they lost 4 guys. The line breakers lost 2 guys. They're only going to need a 4. They lose the melee. They initially didn't make that, but I forgot they have the command. They have the Baron with them. So let me roll 1 more dice, 1 more attempt to get an 8. And he pulls it out. What a good job, man. All right, awesome. So lose some casualties, get some guys killed, but keep it together emotionally. So yes, Orcs are going to try to move forward. The Orcs fail and do a simple move, going forward 6 inches. Time Wardens are going to move forward, pivot, and move forward this what's left of this unit of soldiers down the road. Actually, they're going to move their pikemen first, and they get a couple extra inches because technically they're inside the woods. We had a couple units just maneuvering, so I thought I'd spare you guys. The Immortals just are fortifying the position. It's important they hold that, I think. Orcs, of course, you saw them. These soldiers moved forward successfully. Longbowmen moved up behind them. These soldiers moved out in the field a little bit behind the pikemen. And I think we're just down to sorcerers. Let me just double check. Got these spearmen here. Heavy spearmen are going to attack. They are in the flank, so they'll attack these line breakers. But it will be an uphill attack. Everybody's hitting on 5s on this one. Let's see what happens. What a great fight. The spearmen are victorious, killing 5 line breakers, driving them back 6 inches. The line breakers kill 4 of the spearmen. So that was just kind of a crapshoot, so they were tied. So good rolling. Those 2 10s they rolled, the spearmen, that really was the game changer. Break test wise, oh, hang on. 6s and 7s with morale checks. They both pass. Fantastic. Light horse are going to pivot and try to shoot across this direction. This war priest, it's going to be a tough shot and a tough cast. He's a casting level 8. Going to try to chuck a fireball at these guys. I almost said flamethrower. Too much chin of command, baby. Oh, he panics. Sorry about your luck. Their war priest is going to try to cast blade mastery on these cavalry right here. Actually, it's going to do it on these line breakers. Oh, their pagan god loves them as they cast that spell successfully. Alright. That guy there. Who can he see? He's going to try to cast blade mastery. And he got casting level 9 on his Baron's unit. Success. This guy's going to do a casting level 8. Chuck a flamethrower at these pikemen. Fireball. Flamethrower again. This war priest is going to use his fire over ability to fling a fireball at these soldiers on top of the hill. Well, he can't cast. That stinks. And then this war priest is going to try to run forward and try to close in with these guys. Alright, that ends turn 4. We'll go on to turn 5 here in a minute. It could be anybody's battle. It's definitely been bloody. The casualty boxes are filling up. I'm not sure who's winning. It's going back and forth. It's pretty awesome as far as I'm concerned for being entertained. It's not like a walkover. So there's some unexpected stuff happening. There's some cool stuff happening. A lot of thought into this. I mean, if you move a guy too early, I'm learning. It's kind of relearning and learning. And I was never, an expert on this game because I only got one game under my belt. So I'm looking forward to more of these and adding on all of the rules from the supplements. So they have special units, they have the legendary heroes, the random events for the kingdoms. You can do all kinds of stuff and the different races. So cool. All right, and that's it. Going on turn 5. You guys are great. All right, time for more initiative. It's got to be getting down to the, I have no idea, but I assume it's getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We'll see. Timortans win initiative. Eurylians roll another event with double 6s. Oh, it's sniper time. Select one enemy unit. Oh, man. Well, they're going to go ahead and, since they can sniper someone, they're going to snipe their general over here. There's no units within 8 inches of him. But, yeah, he's wasted. We'll have to take a morale test, but it's like a 5. Or 4, sorry. Oh, they pass. And now for pain and suffering, they're going to activate that unit to... they only activate on 1 die now to try to destroy these guys. Alright, the knights are attacking these line breakers. They get their full charge, which is +3. And the line breakers are disordered. The knights will need a 3, the line breakers will need a 9. Line breakers are able to kill 2 of the knights. They lose 5 of their own. They're going to need a 10 to not rout off the table. Alright, these knights are going to try to activate using their command. They're also going to activate these, what's it called? It's heavy spearmen. Let's see if we can activate these guys first. Alright, they're able to activate. Using their command function, they activate these guys. They also activate. And now let's see who I'm going to move first. They charge in and hit those line breakers with their charge 3. Nice. Line breakers are on a 7. The knights are on a 3. Knights lose 1 of their guys, and the line breakers get blasted back 6 inches, lose 7. They're going to be looking for an 11. And these guys are looking for a 5. The line breakers are activated and disordered. Oh, the second move, these knights are going to pivot and charge into the flank of these light cavalry. 5 against 7. Let's see what happens. Aurelian's got a slight edge here. Light cavalry lose 4. Aurelian spearmen lose 2. Got some break tests. These guys are going to be 8s. These guys will be 6s. Light calves disordered as they run towards their certain doom. Not good. These line breakers are basically going to run down the hill a half a millimeter and crash into the flank of these light spearmen or spearmen. Not good. Heavy spear is going to need 8s, and the line breakers are going to need 1s. Oh, but they are going to use shielding and cut it down to 4 dice. Line breakers are going to need 4 to pass their morale test. These guys lost 6. They're going to need a 10. Oh, what a save! Heavy spear. Keep it together like a boss. Oh, that's awesome. They passed their break test. They are defeated and pushed back 6 inches. Light cavalry charging the disordered light cavalry that's already gone. 7 versus 4s. 5 dice each. Aurelian with the edge. Tymordans are able to inflict 0 casualties. They are wiped out to a man. They even had an extra kill to kill one of their relatives back home. So they are gone. Oh, wow. Okay. What are the Tymordans going to do? You got to go for it. These guys are going to try to activate and charge uphill against the flank of the knights. This is going to be a weird one. They both need 9s. So 5 dice each. That was a weird one. The Tymordans lose 1 guy. The Aurelians lose nobody. They're pushed back 6 inches. They've got to get a 3 to pass the morale test. Which they passed like a superstar. Alright, these knights with the champion are going to charge the crossmen if they can pass their disorder. They don't have it. Oh, they do a disorder check. Let's see what they can do. Those knights barely passed their disorder. They charge forward and hit the crossbowmen. This is going to be savage as usual. 9s versus 1, always fair with the champion dice. They kill 10 of them plus the leader of the unit. So they'll take a 1 die morale check and they need to roll a 15. Good luck! Sending the orcs down the hill to attack the line breakers. Alright, orcs attacking downhill. Charge 1 with a fight of 4 into the flank of the line breakers. Line breakers can need 8s versus the orcs 2s. Not going to go well for them. I have that spell on their weapons. They need 7s, sorry, the line breakers. Alright, 5 of the line breakers are slain. 3 of the orcs, which is pretty awesome. They rolled really good. So let's do some break tests. They're both going to need 8s to not be broken. Sorry, not be disordered. What a mess. Orcs just, I mean, the Tymordans just can't get a break. The Aurelians pass their break test and they stay ordered. And we get disordered on the orcs. So just, they had a tougher activation and just they couldn't do it. Berserkers of Odenheim going to try to activate with a 5. See if they can vanquish their long foes over here. Berserkers charging in against these spearmen. They can charge 1. They also have wild charge. The spearmen are disordered. They're going to use shielding to try to survive this. Oh, and I forgot the spearmen also have that. Sorry, I looked down at the ground. They also have that enhancement where they can get a fight one. This is going to be a 5 versus a 6. The Berserkers will have a slight advantage. The Tymortan's going to go for it. They're going to drop their shielding and roll all 5 dice, try to wipe them out. No pain, no gain. Let's see what happens, baby. Berserkers muffed it. They bring out their wild charge. Right now it's tied at 2-2. Berserkers lose 3-2. Oh, terrible. All right, so I got some break tests here. Oh, and at their moment of victory, because these guys were disordered, they failed their break test and they are gone. Oh, that's embarrassing. I can't believe it. They beat them. They had them beat. They probably just got so shocked they had to like poop their pants or something. They're like, oh, we got to go. They're just too traumatic for them. Oh, so that's, yeah, I got to do something with the Tymortans. Tymortan Archer is going to fire over the top at the crossbowmen. 5 shots, hitting 3s on these disordered crossbowmen. This could be the end of them. I have to see if they can activate first. My bust. Full activation. Here come the arrows. 7 crossbowmen die. They're gonna need 12, and they're already disordered. So this could be it. They did get 110, so if they can roll an 8 or higher, they stay on the battlefield. Oh, too bad. They couldn't do it. All right, they flee the battlefield. All right, these pikemen are trying to activate, pivot, and attack the rear of those heavy spear. Pikemen crash into the back of the spearmen. Pikemen are going to need a 1. Spearmen are going to need a 6. Spearmen are going to use shielding. Cut it to 4 dice. 7 versus 3 for these morale checks. You just pushed them an inch and left them at the bottom of the bottom of that hill for next turn. Not nice, my friends. Not nice at all. All right. Tymortan's got to come up with something. Sorcerer's going to try to cast a fireball at those pikemen. Unsuccessful. Archers are going to unload on these footmen. Top of the hill. Get payback on those guys for killing the crossbowmen. Amazing shooting, killing 9 of those guys. They're going to need a 12 to avoid going disordered. I don't know, this battle report's getting a little long. Tymortans, just things aren't going well this turn. They're the aggressors. Most of their units are either disordered or completely cut in half. They've only got really 1 untouched unit here besides a unit of longbow. Yeah, I think the half of their units are disordered. Just cut to pieces. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it. It's got that feeling. It's not going well for the home team. So the Tymortans are going to fall back. They tried to retake that the county or whatever, the barony of Walden. Weren't able to do it this time. They're going to fall back and regroup. They're kind of excited that their Baron was not slain, but unfortunately, oh yes, he was. Their Baron was slain. I forgot. Oh, I forgot he was killed by that sniper. Oh, so they got that too on top of everything else. Yeah. So their leader's killed. I think their champion's killed. Like everything they've got is killed. And it's just great playing this game again. I really enjoyed it. It took a little longer than I thought, but that's okay. A lot of fun, a lot of moving around. It's like playing checkers, you know. You kind of, I'm gonna kill you, but they're gonna you're going to jump 3 of my guys. It's kind of like picking which guy you're going to attack first, and then just thinking of the domino effect of which is about to happen. Not as probably if you played on a smaller surface like a 4x6 or I don't get it that bad here with 14-foot wide battlefield, but especially with 5,000 points, they're not too much. They're still all over the battlefield. But I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go back and paint these Prussian infantry. Hopefully rock them out. I might sneak a game of Chain of Command in. Depends how long. If I get a really good painting session tomorrow, and I'll start the Napoleonics this weekend. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know how long it's going to take me to knock out these last battalion and a bit of Prussians. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this again, and thanks for everything you guys do. You're awesome, and I appreciate the comments and all the thumbs up and the views, and it's just an amazing hobby, and it's so much fun to play any of these miniature wargaming games, in my opinion. So this was Oathmark, me relearning it. Hopefully you learning a little bit, and yeah, it's by it's Osprey Games by this Joseph McCullough. It's cool. It's fun. There are 3 supplements. I've got 2 of them. I got one more coming in the mail. I've even got the Oathmarks are actually like obelisks, I guess, that have magic powers. I've actually bought 2 of those on Etsy, so I'm gonna start mixing those in the battlefield. They're supposed to have special powers and stuff like that. So should be cool. All right, you guys are great, and we'll talk to you soon.